This is not church. There are pew openings down here in the front if any of you need them. We've still got some seats down here. The sermons will not be that long, so you don't have to worry. I know you're all anxiously waiting, but we have to wait till 7:30. So it's another minute or two and we'll be ready. All right, good evening. Welcome to the 2017 March 13th Westminster City Council meeting. We do have some special guests with us tonight. The Girl Scouts will be presenting the colors, the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff. So if you would please rise and join with me in welcoming the Girl Scouts in the presentation of colors.
Girl Scouts attention. Color Guard advance. Color Guard post the colors. Color Guard honor your flag. Please join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will say the Girl Scout pledge. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Girl Scout law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. Thank you.
Go ahead, be seated. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. And we'll be back to introduce the Girl Scouts in just a few minutes. Ms. Parker, would you please take the roll?
Atchison.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Bird. DeCambra. Garcia. Pinter. Here. Seitz.
Here.
Just so you know where our colleagues are, 3 of our representatives are in Washington, D.C., about to get hammered with a snowstorm. And we're not sure if they'll make it back, but they said they canceled like 4,000 flights for the next 2 days. So they're actually there representing the city, as the city has received an award through the National League of Cities for the creation and the building of our, what we call our Inclusivity Board. We were second place in the nation. And this is our first full year of that, so that was a great accomplishment for us in recognizing the staff, the members of our board, and the work that the city has done to try to make sure that everybody is included in what we do. So on behalf of the members who are here, thank you for coming tonight. I know many of you are here for certain presentations, and we're going to get to those in just a couple of minutes. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes, and Mr. Baker, if you would, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that, the City Council approve, the minutes of both the February 27th, 2017 special meeting and the February 27th, 2017 regular meeting as presented.
Okay, Ms. Pinter?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Next item will be the, actually we have some presentations for a number of groups here tonight. Let's start off with, if we could, if I get the Girl Scouts to come back over into the front.
If there are any additional members of the troop or parents who want to come on up, that would be great.
Try to make sure we got everybody. Good. There we go. Come on. So real quick, who are you?
Serafina,
Serafina.
Victoria.
Olivia, Emma, Caitlin,
Talia. Tracy. Debbie. Flo.
Brian.
All right, this is our group tonight, and we have two groups, right? Yes. Two different Girl Scout groups. And this is the proclamation that we're doing tonight for them. Whereas Juliet Daisy Gordon Lowe founded the Girl Scouts of the United States of America on March the 12th, 1912, and this is the 100th anniversary of Girl Scouting in Colorado. You know you were that old. Whereas in Girl Scouts, girls developing their leadership potential through activities that enable them to discover their values, skills, and the world around them, as well as connect with others in a multicultural environment. And whereas Girl Scouts continue to create gender-balanced leadership by providing girls with the tools to become leaders dedicated to making this country a better place, and whereas the Girl Scouts have made girls' financial literacy a high priority in its programs and activities, and continues to develop financial empowerment programs for girls to graduate another future generation of independent female leaders. And whereas the Girl Scout Cookie Program introduces girls to the concept of business planning and entrepreneurship, and is the largest girl-led business teaching girls the value of goal setting, decision-making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. And whereas Girl Scouts teaches girls how to build healthy relationships through anti-bullying and relational aggression programs. Whereas the Girl Scouts is committed to ensuring every girl has the opportunity to explore and build an interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, helping them to develop critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and collaborative skills which are vital throughout the life. And whereas in the state of Colorado, Girl Scouting reaches all 64 counties with Girl Scout offices in Colorado Springs, Denver, Fort Collins, Grand Junction, and Pueblo, and mountain camp properties near Bailey, Estes Park, Red Feather Lakes, Rye, and Woodland Park. And whereas through the dedication, time, and talent of 10,000 Colorado volunteers of different backgrounds, abilities, and areas of expertise, the Girl Scout program has brought to more than 20,000 girls in grades K through 12 across the state. Whereas in 2016 in Colorado, more than 1,600 Girl Scouts helped make the world a better place and earned one of Girl Scouts' highest honors, the Bronze, Silver, or Gold Award. Now, therefore, I, Herb Atchison, Mayor of the City of Westminster, Colorado, on behalf of the entire Westminster City Council, do hereby applaud the commitment of Girl Scouting as it is made to support the continued advancement of girls in their roles of leaders, and do hereby proclaim March 12th through the 18th, 2017 to be Girl Scout Week in the City of Westminster, Colorado. Signed this 13th day of March, 2017, Herb Atchison, Mayor.
yeah.
And since we have two different groups, we have a proclamation for each of the groups. Get one? Well, here we go. You guys hold it up in front of you so they can get the picture.
We saw that. You have to share those.
Not after I found out what they were anyway.
And do you want us to come down?
You guys come down. We're going to be recognizing a number of young people here in a few minutes, and I've asked the council to come down and help with this. And part of what we do is we get recommendations from the schools each year. So students who have been through some type of adversity, they've been able to overcome many different challenges. We don't just Usually I don't get told I'm not talking loud enough. But in either case, this is a lot of what goes on. It's our honor tonight to recognize those students who have been recommended by a counselor, a teacher, someone from a school. But the Adams County Mayors and Commissioners Youth Award was established in 1986. The award honors young people who have overcome personal adversity, created a positive change in a difficult environment, or have made strides beyond their normal limitations. The individuals being recognized tonight by City Council have faced trauma with courage, emotional and physical health ailments with determination, financial hardships with resourcefulness, and challenges in school with perseverance. The incredible character, strength, and determination exhibited by our award recipients tonight have contributed to the good of the city, their community, and their schools. We are very proud to present them with the ACM-CYA Award. We welcome them along with their family and friends who are with us this evening. We'll present each recipient with a certificate this evening, and when your name is called, please come up. And I know that a few of the nominators were not able to be here tonight, but we'll tell you who they were, and then join the award. So if you can, with the first person coming up tonight, make sure I got them all here. I think they're in alphabet. How about Talisa Garcia? We'll get those. Talisa, stay here for just a minute. Talisa, come back just a minute. Come back. Stay here. Yeah. Talisa is a student at Moore Middle School and was nominated by Shanda Douglas. Shanda, are you here? Come on over. How about Caleb Goodmay? Come on over here, Caleb. Johnny, you're back again. And Caleb is from Moore Middle School. Angela Salas. Seeing you again. And Angela is also with Moore Middle School and was nominated by Veronica Brown, who was not able to be here tonight. Am I correct? Okay. Stacy Tahita Sandoval.
Go the other way.
Go ahead, Mom. And Stacy, you were from Shaw House Middle School, correct? Good. Congratulations. And Stacy was nominated by Blair Garnett. Isabella Smith, student at Moore Middle School, nominated by Vanessa Ewing. Lorenzo Roman, student at Silver Hills Middle School, nominated by Olivia Heighton. And our last one for tonight is Yvonne Perez, student at Scott Carpenter Middle School, nominated by Kelly Ananista. If anybody gets to talk to this young lady afterwards, I want you to understand what her career is about to be.
Yes, hello. So we do have a series of presentations. Nusheen, if you wanted to come join me. Let's see here. Here we go. There are two. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, you can come up here. That's totally fine. So I'm going to allow Nusheen to explain because she always talks with such grace and about the Persian culture. She's invited so many to different events, breakfasts, music celebrations, cultural events, talking about Persian culture and celebrating harvest festivals and New Year's festival. This particular is a proclamation celebrating the New Year culture, and I'm going to allow Nusheen to explain a little bit more about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Westminster City Government. Thank you, Council Lady Dietz and Pinter, for your support for this proclamation. So I'm honored to be here to celebrate Persian New Year, or Nowruz. So Nowruz is all about self-reflection. It's about community, humanity. It's about the protection of environment. And it's celebrated right at the beginning of spring. So it only makes sense for a city like Westminster to honor this New Year celebration because we have shared values. So what I brought over here today is a symbol that we celebrate at Nowruz time, sprouted wheats with a hyacinth flower. So obviously the sprouts are symbolic for growth. I wish all of you growth, abundance, and happiness. It is my honor to wish you all a happy Nowruz, happy Persian New Year, Nowruz Piruz.
Whereas the citizens of Westminster, Colorado recognize the celebration of Nowruz, marking the Persian New Year, and whereas the cultural celebration of Nowruz promotes inclusivity and social and environmental justice, as it reminds all people who celebrate to speak, act, and do positive deeds for their community, contributing to the world regardless of ethnicity, ideology, lifestyle, and whereas on March 21st, 2017, the City of Westminster will join the Iranian American community in celebration of Nowruz, marking a new beginning for people as nature renews itself, and all set intentions for love, health, abundance, beauty, reflection, growth, and enlightenment, and connect the Iranian community and the community at large. Now, therefore, I, Herb Atchison, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the entire City Council and staff, do hereby proclaim March 21st, 2017, Nowruz Day in the City of Westminster and call upon all citizens and civic organizations to join me in recognizing this momentous occasion in the Persian community. Thank you. I thought I gently set down the mic, but apparently not.
The next item on our agenda will be for the recognition of Employee Service Awards. Tonight, we are honoring people who have reached a major milestone of 20 years, but we also have people here who are receiving an award for their 30th and their 35th year of service to the city of Westminster. So, Councilor Pinter, if you will, our 20 years.
They did give me a microphone again. I apologize. Hopefully I won't drop or break anything this time. So our first 20-year awardee is Doug Hawkins. If Doug, you could come up here with any family you have with you or friends, or your lovely self is fine. Yeah, come on. Thank you. Congratulations. We do have this plaque and this pin. So Doug was hired straight out of the U.S. Air Force when he retired from active duty as a Master Sergeant E7 in 1997. His initial position was with the Information Technology Department as a systems team member. He worked his way up to team lead and ultimately became the go-to guy for the J.D. Edwards system servers when the system was implemented. Doug's current position was created in the early 2000s to fill a void in the city's internal capacities. Up until then, all the various systems had been left to contractors, resulting in a non-standardized hodgepodge of adaptations from the city's early supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA systems into a single complex, standardized, very modern, computer-operated monitoring and control network employing several servers, citywide fiber optic communications, high-speed Ethernet radios, and numerous connection devices to properly manage the processing of drinking water, wastewater in the Public Works and Utilities Department. Doug continues to adapt systems as new regulatory requirements, pump stations, sewage lift stations, and operational refinements development. His citywide radio call sign is appropriately Geek 1. Doug is still the city's only SCADA engineer. Doug's hobbies include ham radio, where he closed an amateur extra license, enabling him to be a volunteer examiner and occasionally teaches classes on boating, model rocketry, where he holds a level 1 higher powered rocketry certification. Doug is also very appreciative of the patience that his wife of 15 years, Linda, has had with various hobbies. So I should mention that we have such an amazing IT crew here. It's an award-winning across the nation over at National League of Cities. I won't be surprised if they win yet another award for the professionalism of our IT staff. So you are among many fine individuals. So thank you for your 20 years. Our next 20-year award is for Bob Cutchin. Bob, are you here with family or friends? We got a lot of solo gentlemen this evening. Thank you. So, congratulations. Bob joined the City of Westminster in March of 1997 as an electromechanic specialist in the Big Dry Creek wastewater treatment facility. He is currently a utilities foreman in the Public Works and Utilities Department, responsible for the maintenance, diagnosis, and repair of equipment and controls at the wastewater plant, reclaimed water plant, and reclaimed distribution vaults throughout the city. Bob has been involved in the design and construction of several wastewater expansion projects, the replacement of major equipment, and the construction and expansion of the reclaimed water treatment facility. Bob enjoys spending time with his family, outdoor activities such as hiking, bicycling, auto racing, and riding his Harley. We'll have to hear about that later. All right, thank you so much, and congratulations on 20 years. All right, we have another fine 20-year employee. This is Stephanie Shaver. Stephanie, are you here? And family? All right. for you. And can I ask who you have with you tonight? Well, welcome. Stephanie, as you might have guessed, has worked for the city for 20 years. She's worked as a communication specialist in the police department. Before that, she worked as an Adams County Commission communications for 7.5 years. She says that even after 27 years, she still loves her job. She is involved in the peer support team and is also a dispatcher for the SWAT team. She has been involved in several critical incidents, including officer shootings and officers shot in the line of duty. Stephanie recently received a Teams in Action Award for her participation on the school emergency planning team. Stephanie is a Colorado native. She has been married for almost 20 years, so we outrank Bob by a hot minute, apparently. She has 2 kids, Nicole and Timothy, who keep her very busy. Stephanie enjoys scrapbooking and card making. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Councilman Baker will now give our 30-year service awards.
I would first like to point out that we have a member who's not here tonight. His name is Stacy Willie Koenig, and he works in our water plant operating department and several other things. We appreciate his 30 years service, which he has faithfully delivered good water to Westminster. I would now like to have Ed McDonald and his family come up, please. Would you like to introduce us to your wife?
My wife, Holly.
And we have an award and a pin for Ed. You have quite a collection of those pins now, don't you, Ed? Excellent, excellent. Ed was really hired by the Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Department on March 9th, 1987, as an equipment mechanic. Well, on November 19th, 2001, he was promoted to mechanic 1, and on April 18th, 2005, he was again promoted to his of the current position of the crew leader. Ed and his crew maintain over 300 pieces of equipment for our parks division annually. They pride themselves in always being willing and able to help fix equipment for all of the other departments as well. Ed says he is lucky to have good employees around him through, the years, which has helped him learn and grow, making his job a lot easier. And we all want easier jobs. He has been recognized for several teams in action and for the CMO Choice Awards over the years. Ed is married and has 3 children, 1 granddaughter, and a son-in-law. He enjoys motorcycle riding, hunting, fishing, and hopes he can do more of it this year. Thank you very much, Ed.
Councilor Seitz will do our 35-year awards.
Steve Norwood and his family please come down. So I got some cuties in my group here. Sorry, no one wanted to come join you tonight, Steve. It's a little lonely up here. Would you like to introduce your family?
This is my wife, Peggy. This is my grandson, Hunter. This is my granddaughter, Andy. My daughter, Megan. My son-in-law, Cameron. My stepmother, Monica, and my dad, Hugh.
Thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you for 35 years of service. Steve Norwood began his career with the city's fire department on February 12, 1982, as a firefighter. He was promoted through the ranks to his current position of fire engineer in 1988. Steve's accomplishments include working on the dive team from 1984 through 1987, and as the juvenile fire setter intervention specialist from 2006 to the present. Through the years, Steve has been recognized with several Teams in Action Awards. In 2011 and 2016, he received life-saving awards for his efforts with CPR saves with the Fire Station Number 6 crew. Stephen has been married for 37 years and is the father of 3 children, Jamie, 34, Ryan, 32, and Megan, 29, and has 5 grandchildren. He enjoys spending time with his children's families, especially his 2 granddaughters and 3 grandsons. He also enjoys traveling, fishing, hunting, and hiking. Thank you so much. And here is your certificate.
I'm going to come over this side.
I have Tim Woodard and his family. Tim, would you like to introduce your family?
My wife, Julie, and my son, Travis.
So Tim Woodard was hired on February 8th, 1982 as a maintenance worker. He has held several positions through the years and was promoted to his current position of plant superintendent on January 1st, 2002 in the Public Works and Utilities Department. And we should say that you work at the Big Dry Creek wastewater. Tim continues to stay heavily involved with the construction occurring at the Big Dry Creek facility, along with helping manage the city's Strasburg Farm in eastern Colorado. Tim was honored as a wastewater plant operator of the year by the American Public Works Association in 1997. Tim's proudest personal accomplishments are his wife, Julie, of 34 years, and raising 2 wonderful kids. His daughter and son-in-law now live in Craig, Colorado. His son, Travis, is an equipment operator with the Utilities Division in the Public Works and Utilities Department for the City of Westminster. And he may not remember, but he had lunch with me. I sat at your table. So service in Westminster apparently is a family tradition here. Tim volunteers for the Division of Wildlife around the state of Colorado, and he enjoys hunting, fishing, and spending time outdoors with his family. And this isn't going to sound like something that you would normally think of, but I would recommend anyone who's at all interested to take a tour of the Big Dry Creek wastewater facility. I took one, and it is just absolutely amazing. That is an incredible system, and you work really hard. And I don't know if people realize this. When Tim works there, he literally puts his liberty on the line to make sure that we all have safe wastewater. And I'm just so impressed with the level of service and the quality you provide our residents. Yeah, so thank you.
All right, we'll pause for just a minute, let people get a chance to move around. Thanks again to all the recipients and the employees who came in tonight with their families. We appreciate very much their service, and we especially appreciate the families for letting us have their employees during the day. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the citizen communication piece. Members of the audience are invited to speak at the council meeting in the citizen communication section 5 and is reserved for comments on any issues or items pertaining to city business, except for those which have a formal public hearing is scheduled. That hearing would have been scheduled under section 10, and then I will call for testimony on those items at that time. We ask you please to limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes in duration. Once you come to the front, we ask you please to identify yourself with your name and your address. Once you start speaking, the green light will come on the dais. That will tell you you started your 5 minutes. The yellow light will come on when you have 1 minute left. The red one will come on when your time is up. You do not have to use all the time, but you're allowed up to 5 minutes. So far, I have five people who have signed, I'm sorry, four. Dorian, okay. Dorian, you're up first.
Move over.
Make sure to speak right into the microphone, right in front of you. There you go.
Hi, my name is Dorian. Thank you for being stupendous. I want to sing you a song for you. I raise my arms to the sky. On my knees, I pray. I'm not afraid of anymore. I will walk through that door. Walk, dance, rise, walk. Dance, rise. I can see the world we all live, safe and free from all oppression. No more rape or incest or abuse. Women are not in possession. You never own me, don't even know me. I'm not invisible, I'm simply wonderful. I felt my heart for the first time racing. I feel alive, I feel so amazing. I dance 'cause I love, dance 'cause I dream. Dance 'cause I had enough, dance stop the screams. Dance break the rules, dance stop the pain. Dance turn and upside down, it's time to break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. Dance, rise, dance. In the middle of us, this madness we will stand. I know there is a better world. Take your sisters and your brothers by the hand. Reach out to any woman and girl. This is my body's holy. No more abuses, no more abuses. We are mothers, we are teachers. We are beautiful, beautiful creatures. I dance 'cause I love, dance 'cause I dream. Dance 'cause I had enough, dance stops the screams. Dance break the rules, dance stop the pain. Turn and upside down, it's time to break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. Oh yeah, break their dance. Sister, won't you help me? Sister, won't you rise? Sister, won't you help me? Sister, won't you rise? Sister, won't you help me? Sister, won't you rise? Sisters, won't you help me? Sisters, won't you rise? Sister, won't you help me? Sisters, won't you rise? Sisters, won't you help me? Sisters, won't you rise? This is my body. My body's holy. No more excuses. No more abuses. We are mothers. We are teachers. We are beautiful, beautiful creatures. I dance 'cause I love. Dance 'cause I dream. Dance 'cause I had enough. Dance stops the screams. Dance break the rules. Dance stop the pain. Dance turn and upside down. It's time to break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. 'Cause I love. Dance 'cause I dream. Dance 'cause I had enough. Dance stops the screams. Dance break the rules. Dance stop the pain. Dance turning upside down. It's time to break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain. A 1 billion rising.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Tanji Lancaster.
Oh, I'm going to have to get my breath. Thank you. Hi and good evening again. My name is Tanji Lancaster, former Westminster resident. I'm here tonight to speak to Councilman Bruce Baker's pre-recorded observations of the minutes for on the January 23rd meeting. I start with this, the definition of a flash mob. A flash mob is a large public gathering at which people perform an unusual or seemingly random act and then disperse, typically organized by the means of the internet or social media. What you just witnessed here tonight was a mini flash mob. Councilman Baker, in your pre-recorded statement 2 weeks ago, you referenced multiple times the flash mob speakers, and the angry flash mob that was here on January 23rd. You asked your colleagues, how much work did it take to organize the flash mob? Since you stated, do I choose my words carefully? Yes, I do. I spend as much time as necessary to consider my words. And 2 weeks ago is when you said this. I thought it might be helpful to let you know you didn't experience a flash mob on the evening of January 23rd. You experienced a public, open dialogue with residents such as myself and with your colleagues who were abhorred by your comparison of the crime of rape to the crime of being unlawfully present in the United States. You also claimed to your colleagues and to those who spoke out against your atrocious comparison of the crime of rape to the crime of being unlawfully present in the United States that they hit the mark, scored a direct hit, and it hurt. And you asked, why hurt me? Do you thrill in seeing other people hurt? Well, you are a public official. You made a horrible comparison in public. I know you have had to have heard the phrases that the truth hurts and that actions have consequences. Do you really think that the public would leave your deplorable comparison of the crime of rape to the crime of being unlawfully present in the U.S. alone? That those of us who have been raped by U.S. citizens at that would simply look the other way? Come on. I must ask you, Councilman Baker, do you thrill in seeing other people hurt? You hurt many people, including me, when you compared the crime of rape to the crime of being unlawfully present in the United States. Personally, I wound up mentally reliving my rape as I wrote my statement so I could speak out against your appalling comparison. The night before I spoke, I had a nightmare of what I had gone through. And all you had to say to me, to the other survivors, to all of the residents who spoke out against your just downright mean comparison is that we misunderstood you. Well, that's what he said too. I misunderstood him as the right side of my face hit the wall after he hit the left side of my face. I misunderstood the horrifying actions that came a bit later, apparently, too. As I haven't even told my husband, who I've been with for over 20 years, of these actions, I'm not going to describe them in detail tonight. Just know my rape is not for your use, ever. There is a blog on healthyplace.com titled Examples of Verbal Abuse Early in a Relationship. The first example is the phrase, "You misunderstood me." Verbal abuse underlies all other forms of abuse because words and tone can be easily manipulated to mean something other than what is said. "You misunderstood me" is an easy way out of taking responsibility for intentionally wounding someone. You stated that your colleagues activated people from Thornton. Well, I'm here to let you know that I certainly was not activated by your colleagues. You made the public statement. I heard it. Your words and your words alone are what brought me to that meeting and to this one. I am a well-educated woman, and you can best believe that even my own parents will concur that no one tells me what to do or where to go or when or how to think, and hasn't for at least 25 or more years now. I am fully capable of making my own decisions of my own volition. Thank you very much. Do not ever think otherwise, not of me. Do not underestimate me. Do not ever think I'm not being decent. Do not ever think my passion needs to be inflamed by others. And certainly do not ever include me in a blanket statement. Driving over the speed limit is breaking the law. It is a crime. I'd like to know if you have ever driven even a fraction over the speed limit, Councilman Baker, if you have committed this crime. Should I compare that crime to the crime of rape? How much work do you do? How much time do you spend on making sure the crime of driving over the speed limit is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for everyone, including yourself and members of your family? As you stated, you do believe that law breaking, whatever form of law breaking, must not be minimized, especially by those in government. Finally, Councilman Baker, you said that your colleagues need to admit that they were wrong and that they need to find the courage to live up to their best values. Well, in my eyes, they are not the ones who need to apologize for anything. And thankfully, they have lived up to their best values tenfold. Thank you for your time.
Diana Woods? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Diana Woods. I live at currently 6870 West 91st Court. I'm a Colorado native, raised in Westminster. I'm a single mom to a brilliant 10-year-old son. I have a decade of sobriety. I don't drink, smoke, drug, or date. I'm an active member of the LGBT community, as well as the people who care about other people community. In 2008, I was diagnosed with a neuromuscular autoimmune disease called myasthenia gravis. And shortly thereafter, I qualified for Section 8. My disease prevents me from working full-time, but I do work part-time. And I think everybody should be as grateful and appreciative to have a job like I do. And it was with a heavy heart and much consternation that I was forced to turn in my 60-day intention to vacate my apartment where my son and I have lived for 8 years. I was informed by my contact at Jefferson County Housing Authority that the owners of Cascade Village, where I live, no longer choose to participate in the Section 8 program. This is the only reason we're moving. I had intended to stay there until my son goes off to college in 2024. I'm here tonight to spotlight the low-income housing crisis facing many families. In the days since I received my order to vacate, I've searched all the apartment complexes within the boundaries of the elementary school my son attends. None of them participate in the Section 8 program. A nearby apartment complex accepts Section 8 as long as the applicant has good credit. I have poor credit due to my medical condition. Neither will this particular apartment complex accept a cosigner who has excellent credit. I know mine is not the only family negatively affected by these strict practices. I suspect that by the time many persons qualify for Section 8, their credit is already shot. I understand that some people have a negative view of anyone using any kind of public assistance. Without knowing someone personally, they assume they're lazy and bilking off the system. That's not the case in my life, nor is it the case of any of the people I've met who've had to humble themselves to ask for assistance. I also understand that the world doesn't owe me anything. I may not be able to give back monetarily at the moment, but my son and I improve our world by picking up litter every day. It's small, but it's something. The vast majority of us are trying to raise our children to be good citizens and make our communities better places to live. A child needs stability in order to remain engaged in academics and thrive. That's extremely difficult when they're uprooted every time a landlord feels they don't have an incentive to help their communities. I'm here to appeal to the humanity of those making hard decisions. I beseech you all to see us as individuals with hearts and minds and goods and services to contribute to our communities. I'm grateful for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think it's Eric Coleman.
Good evening. I hope my voice is good. I really liked your celebration of the workers of Westminster City. I always think the heroes are those who work for this country, and they deserve a celebration. I really like that. That was the American way, not the Persian way, American way. I would like to see also if we would celebrate of our American ways, like celebrate the Constitution, instead of celebrating Phoenix or anything else. If I want to celebrate my own culture, I would go back to my own country and celebrate there. I came here to be American and to have a constitution which protects my liberty, and I really enjoy that up to now. And I just very highly suggest the city would decide one day, one city council meeting celebrating Constitution. That's my, request really. And the other thing I would like to tell you this evening that I heard about, I called up the mayor, Herb, and he told me there is an option out of the garbage collection. And I was thinking, that is like, why should I opt out instead of somebody would opt in who are interested in the city collection or trash collection? I'm not interested in. I don't know why I have to go. That is like everybody who doesn't need doctor sign up as a doctor, and it doesn't make sense. I don't need a doctor. I don't want to sign up. Okay, so I would like to see that it would be just reverse way. Those who are loving recycling, I do it anyway, and loving the green and want to save the earth, then we could not save even some, anymore. And they would sign up. I think basically that's what I wanted to share with you. I appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Do I have anyone that I missed? Okay, thank you, folks. We'll move on to our next item on the report of city officials. Mr. Tripp.
No report this evening, Mayor, Council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Comments by council. Ms. Pinter?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond briefly to some of the public comments with regard to Section 8 housing in Colorado. We received a letter from Ms. Woods, I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago. One of the things that was really fascinating to me is I did some research, and it turns out in Colorado, landlords are allowed to discriminate based on source of funds. And so a landlord can make the decision that they don't like how you're going to pay your rent, and so they don't want to rent to you. And this is Colorado law. So I know we have a lot of work to do on providing opportunities for housing. I want to pledge that we will continue on this council, and I will continue to work to make affordable housing more accessible in the city. And I hope that you and your son find a nice place to live. And I really was touched by your letter and was touched by having you come out here tonight. So thank you, and I wish you the very best.
Mr. Baker.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I was coming to council tonight, a very important observation crossed my mind. The observation was how necessary the really participation and really cooperation is if we're to make this city operate. Had either one of the four of us not been able to come tonight, we would have been paralyzed. We would have had to cancel the meeting and delay everything 2 weeks into the future. But every one of us made it. Every one of us came up and moved the city forward. And sometimes we do not appreciate the value of, the participation of all of us in making this city work. So I would like to recognize that, because recognition is, so many times we assume that everyone knows, but everyone doesn't know. Employees, as a rule, want to be recognized for the contribution they make. But that goes much farther than employees. In almost every relationship we have, we need to openly recognize the importance of us cooperating and working with each other. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Being no other comments, we'll move on to the consent. I'm sorry.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, I thought I had.
Go ahead.
Thank you all for coming out tonight, and we still have a pretty good group. So thank you for your participation. We in the city of Westminster had a really busy week last week. On Wednesday, we had our Citizen Summit. So we had about 100 residents come to touch base with the city and let us know what they want to see us focus on in our next strategic planning retreat. And that was a really wonderful event. It was great to hear residents' ideas, to hear their feedback, to hear where they think that we're going in the right direction, and hear where they'd like to see us change course. So I want to thank everyone who participated in that, and I hope they know that we really take that input to heart when we go into our strategic planning. I also wanted to highlight a couple of other events that we went to for regional partners. The first of which was for the 5-Star School Foundation, Adams 12's foundation, their Reach for the Stars event. This helps the foundation put on all sorts of different programming for students that are within Adams 12, including technical training for some students. And it was such an incredibly successful event that in one night they raised $150,000. And our own Shannon Bird is on the board and helped achieve that wonderful event. So I just think in her absence, I want to make sure she gets recognized for that. The second event that we had this weekend was the Ralston House Gala. And for those of you who are maybe not familiar with the Ralston House, I'm on the board. And they partner with police departments in the 1st Judicial District, which is all of Jefferson, and the 17th Judicial District, which is Adams and Broomfield County. And so what they do with police departments is if a child has been a victim of abuse or witnessed a traumatic crime, instead of having to go to a police department, they get to go to a home-like setting and have a forensic interview. The police are in another room, and they can type questions into the forensic interview to make sure that they build the case. But it's a wonderful asset for children in our community at their most vulnerable. We make sure that they are not re-triggered and not continued to be traumatized. And that was an absolute wonderful event. I was very proud that we had so much representation from Westminster. Our police chief was there, as well as our city manager, who serves on the board with me as well. So I just want to say it was a wonderful wonderful opportunity to see all of the different groups that work to make sure that our community is doing well and that our children are protected. So thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item, which will be the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a group of routine matters to be acted on with a single motion and vote. I'll ask at this time if there's any council member who wishes to have any item removed. Seeing none, Ms. Pinter?
Oh, yeah. I move that the City Council adopt consent agenda items 8A through 8K.
Mr. Baker?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. And if you will, please, give me half a second. It's there. Okay, you're ready for your vote. And the motion carries on a 4-0 vote. At this point. Okay, thank you. Item 9A, this is a reappointment of Councilor Baker and Councilor Byrd to the Rocky Flat Stewardship Council. Anita?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to reappoint City Councilor Bruce Baker as the city's representative to the Rocky Flat Stewardship Council, City Councilor Shannon Byrd as alternate representative, and Water Quality Administrator Mary Fabiziak as second alternate representative.
Second.
Ms. Pinter, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council?
No, I just want to thank Councilor Byrd and Councilor Baker for their service. This is a really important link as we continue to learn more and study more about Rocky Flats and the legacy there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments? Seeing none, go ahead, please. And the motion carries on a 4-0 vote. And is Ms. Soares here yet? There she is. Is your guest here yet? Okay, we'll come back to it. All right, next item on the agenda is item 10A. This is a move to continue item 10A to the April 20th City Council meeting. Council, we have Ms. Pinter, if you would, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I move to continue item 10A to the April 10th City Council meeting.
Okay, any second for the motion?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify with aye.
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 Okay,
Aye.
we're all there. Good. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item B2, preliminary development plan for Block 2, second plat.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Nathan Lawrence, Senior Planner with the Planning Division. I'm here tonight to present the preliminary development plan amendment for Park Center Block 2 PUD. The agenda memo and attachments, which include staff analysis and recommendations, has been entered into the public record, and notice has been published in the Denver Post. The hearing notification has been posted on the property in 3 locations shown in the photos in front of you. And properties within 300 feet of Park Center were notified per standard procedure. And this is a map of that 300-foot boundary for the mailing certification. The PDP is located on the southern side of the Park Center PUD on the north side of 120th Avenue, east of Tejon Street. To the north, east, and west is a mix of flex office and light industrial development, which is also part of the Park Center PUD. To the south, across 120th, is the ranch open space. The block contains an existing retail strip center and Vector Bank, both constructed around 2006. The applicant, Paul Drummond of the Connor Gas Unlimited LLC, in conjunction with the landowner, Hans Kuhlman, have requested the review and approval of a preliminary development plan amendment to add a hotel to the list of permitted uses and increase the allowable building height from 30 feet to 6 stories or 60 feet. On the original PDP, both blocks 2 and 3 are designated as service commercial and neighborhood commercial respectively. The existing PDP does not permit hotel uses in either of those different designations. Surrounding these blocks to the east, west, and part of the north are blocks designated as office park, which do allow for hotel development. The industrial designation, as well as the business park designation in the PUD, also offer hotel development. In essence, all of the blocks aside from blocks 2 and 3 in the Park Center PUD permit a hotel use. The second requested amendment, increasing the allowable building height from 30 feet to 6 stories or 60 feet, is needed to accommodate a proposed 4-story hotel on the block. On the original PDP, office park designation on either side of the subject property already allow the construction of 6-story buildings. By assigning a maximum height in feet to accompany the maximum height in stories, we will be able to prevent buildings from being constructed to any excessive height. For the standards of approval of PDPs, hotel uses allowed in the retail commercial comprehensive plan designation that applies to the subject property. The PUD zone allows flexibility to create a tailored approach to defining land use within a PUD zone. The proposed hotel land use is permitted on neighboring blocks along 120th. Thus, their inclusion is, in the opinion of staff, reasonable and will add to the variety of land uses in the area. 2 access points are currently provided to the existing site, which will be shared by the proposed hotel, and as well as a new access point added from 120th Avenue. A new connection has also been designated to the east that will allow for future connectivity of the adjacent Block 3. Staff believes that the project is compatible with the existing development in the surrounding area, in particular, the adjacent retail commercial development. Future hotel guests will have access to shopping and dining options within a short walking distance. And given that the surrounding uses are office and industrial, no negative impacts are expected. Shared parking will be required and will be effective since retail operators close at night when parking demand at hotels is highest. And cross-access easements will be required, ensuring adequate access to the site. The additional allowable height will match the scale of other similar hotel developments along the 120th Avenue corridor. Staff recommends that the City Council hold a public hearing and approve the proposed PDP amendment. And this concludes my presentation. I'll field any questions from Council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Council, are there any questions of staff on the presentation they've just given? Mr. Baker.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to ask staff about the parking for the hotel. I know that you said in your presentation that there's shared parking with the bank in the existing building over there. So I guess this is under some master plan for the entire Block 2. But if you could go into a little more detail about the parking.
Sure. So the original PDP contemplated a car wash and a daycare use facility on the site. And at the time, a traffic impact study was done. And the revised traffic impact study that accompanies this project predicts no increased traffic or parking demand from those original uses as envisioned on the PDP.
How many parking spaces are they building on their lot?
Councilor, this evening's hearing is relating to allowing the land use. We are still working on the site plan and exact unit count with the applicant as part of an official development plan that comes later.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question by council? Staff, what's the recommendation? Anything other than what you've got here? Planning Commission has already looked at this.
Oh, the Planning Commission voted to recommend approval 6-0.
Okay, Ms. Seitz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The access point that they're contemplating, would that be a lighted access point? And I apologize if I missed that in the report.
It would not be. It would be a right-in or right-out access from 120th.
Okay.
Subject to approval by CDOT.
Okay, and the traffic study shows that a lighted access point is not necessary based off of any impacts from the hotel?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, guys? Okay. Nothing else from council at this time? Okay, at this point, I'll open up the public hearing. If we have anyone who wishes to testify on the application before us tonight, we ask you to please come forward and identify yourself. Seeing none, we have anyone who wishes to testify in opposition to this application tonight? Seeing none from either one of those, we'll close the public hearing. Ms. Pinter, if you would, please.
Mr. Mayor, I think the applicant would like to address the council or make a presentation.
Are you here? Come on down.
Thank you for nominating me, by the way.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Paul Drummond, as Nathan referenced. I represent Connors and Gaskins as well as In Town Suites. In Town Suites is a brand that was purchased by Starwood Capital about 2 years ago. Starwood Capital is headed by Barry Sternlick, who ran Starwood Worldwide Resorts and is the founder and creator of the W brand hotels. His vision 3 years ago when he bought In Town Suites was to pump a lot of money into it and bring it up to a much higher level, which he did. Over the past 3 years, they've renovated in excess of $300 million that brand of hotels. He then decided to create a more upscale brand of a suite-style hotel, which is what we're doing here. We've worked very closely with staff. It's been excruciating at times. We met again today. They have a clear vision for what they want this hotel to look like, and we've worked with them lockstep over the course of the past, since August of last year. We're very proud of what we're delivering here. We think it's a great hotel product for this community, and we're honored to be in Westminster and looking forward to being here, and have enjoyed working with your team over here. They've got your best interest at heart, both from a design standpoint, from a traffic standpoint, from a parking standpoint. It's a compatible use for the shopping center. When you have a suite-style hotel, our users leave usually by about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning when the retail opens up and the bank opens up. And when the retail closes and the banks closes is when our people come back to the hotel. So we do have a shared parking agreement, but it's very compatible. As indicated by staff, there's no other additional issues with traffic that we're imposing. And again, we're just pleased to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before you leave, let me see if council, you have any questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming. All right, make sure I don't close this too early. Does anyone else have any comments they'd like to add? Okay, seeing none, then we will close the public hearing. Staff, I assume the report has already been tendered for file? Okay. At this point, I would take a motion for item B2. Ms. Seitz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve a preliminary development plan amendment for Block 2, second replat, filing number 1 of the Park Center planned unit development. The preliminary development plan amendment would add hotel to the list of permitted uses of Block 2 and increase the allowable building height from 30 feet to 6 stories or 60 feet. This recommendation is based on a finding that the criteria set forth in Section 11-5-14 of the Westminster Municipal Code have been met.
Okay, Mr. Baker?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments by council? Ms. Seitz? Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. If you will, please cast your ballots. Motion carries on a 4-0. If I can get this there. Okay. Thank you, sir. I think you're on the way. Next item is item 10C. This is a move to resolution for the city manager to execute an IGA. No, I'm going to get to it in just a minute. Get through this. Go ahead. Mr. Baker.
And this for 10C, right?
Yes, 10C.
Really, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt resolution number 10, authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Westminster and the City of North Gwen for the exchange of maintenance services along West 112th Avenue and Huron Street.
Ms. Pinter?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Council, is any discussion? No? Okay. Seeing none, please cast your votes.
Is this a roll call?
Yes, a roll
Mr.
call,
Mayor.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Atchison,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Pinter,
Yes.
Seitz.
Yes.
Somebody push your button. I'm only showing 3 on it. There we go. Thank you. All right, motion carries on a 4-0. Now to our pleasurable part. Going back to item number 9. Council, this is a recommendation for appointment of Judge Tiffany Soares to the acting position of municipal judge. And if I can get back there. There we go. If I could have a motion, Ms. Sights?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 11, appointing Tiffany Cerise as acting presiding municipal court judge to exercise the duties and responsibilities of presiding municipal court judge under the city charter until such time as a new presiding municipal court judge is appointed by city council. And I think I might have mispronounced her last name. Is it Soros or Cerise? Soros. My apologies.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Baker, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. And that is a roll call vote.
Baker.
Yes.
Pinter.
Yes.
Sights.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes. Motion carries on a 4-0. Judge, did you bring your honored guest? No.
It's public either way.
She had very good reasons as to why now she thought at this stage in her career that she could have a better impact by being a prosecutor. And we have to call the assistant judge here who said she's perfect. So organized. I remember we promoted her to be a manager, and she actually was the one who had brought boards to lie to the promotion meeting, tell us why that she should be the right one. If I remember right, it was like a giant admin board. She opened different doors, and that was one more attribute. Tiffany had to where she was, but that's just that she crosses everything and dots every I. And so it's a great honor for me to do this. She sent an email to us last week to Goodby and I, would one of us be willing to do it, and Judge Goodby deferred, which was very nice of him, at least I thought on the surface. But just so you know, Judge Goodby gets asked to do every wedding there is, and I've only been asked to do 2. So I think it was much out of pity as admiration for me that he allowed me to do this. Whatever Judge
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
So, with that, raise your right hand. Repeat after me.
Judge Quick, could we have a microphone for maybe one or both of you?
Is this okay?
Well, that'll work. And Jody, do we have a picture? Wait, we need let Jody.
Good.
Hold on.
It's like being at home.
We're all married. We've been married for ages. We don't even remember how this goes.
Please repeat after me. I, Tiffany Soros,
I, Tiffany Soros,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the constitutions of the United States
that I will support the constitutions of the United States
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the ordinances and city charter
and the ordinances and city charter
of the city of Westminster,
of the city of Westminster,
and faithfully perform the duties of
and faithfully perform the duties of
presiding municipal court judge
presiding municipal court judge
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
And Judge, if I could also have you sign your oath, and we'll get a photo of that as well.
And Don, while you're signing it, thanks a very good job for the training and experience you brought with you. We're very happy to have her. Good.
I just need to know whether this would be the inappropriate time to ask for the extra sit-up.
We'll be happy to see you in 2 weeks, Don. We'll be glad to entertain that. Good. Judge, any comments? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Well, members of council, we have made it through another council meeting. So at this time, we will adjourn the city council meeting, and you don't get to go far, and we'll reconvene as the Westminster Economic Development Authority. First item on the agenda would be the consideration of the minutes of February the 6th. Ms. Pinter.
Yes, I move that the board approve the minutes of the February 6, 2017 meeting as presented.
Mr. Baker.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. First item of business will be item IA1. This is to hold a public hearing on the 2016 budget amendment. At this point, I will open up any staff reports. Barbara, we have anything from the staff on this one? Okay. At this point, I will open up to the public to see if there's any comments on the Westminster Economic Development Authority budget amendment from 2016. If we have anyone in the audience that'd like to come forward at this time. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and move on to item A2, the adoption of resolution number 173. Ms. Seitz?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adopt resolution number 173, authorizing a supplemental appropriation to the 2016 Westminster Economic Development Authority budget.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Mr. Baker, thank you. Are there any comments at this time by the council? Or the board, sorry. If there are none, this is a roll call vote.
Move it.
Just did.
You seconded it.
You seconded.
Pinter.
Short night.
Yes.
Seitz.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Motion carries on a roll call vote of 4-0. Next item on the agenda will be item B2, adoption of resolution number 174, as soon as I can get back there. All right, Ms. Pinter.
Yeah, I move to adopt resolution number 174, authorizing a supplemental appropriation to the 2017 Westminster Economic Development Authority budget.
Okay, and before I take a second, let me ask you to please pause. I failed to open up the public hearing for comment first. So at this point, I will go back and open up the public hearing for the 2017 budget amendment for the Westminster Economic Development Authority. Do you have anyone who wishes to testify at this time? Seeing none, then we will move on. Close the public hearing. I have a motion before me for resolution number 174. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
Ms. Seitz? Okay, thank you, Ms. Seitz. I have a motion and a second. Is there any comment by the board? This is also a roll call vote. Ms. Parker?
Seitz.
Yes.
Atchison.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Pinter.
Yes.
Have a motion and a second and a vote of 4-0. Therefore, the motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of the Westminster Economic Development Authority for tonight. We did good, and all the others are going to get snowed in Washington. They might be home by next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us tonight. We appreciate it very much, and thank you all for coming tonight.
I don't want to train, you'll get back.